Amateur radio club, the best in town. From dawn till dusk, we're up in the sky, talking on repeaters, let our voices fly. With every static crackle, we share a good tale, chasing the signals we just can't fail. All right.
Use some AI, put some personal insults, and you got the jokes.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm Bob, K4HRK. Most of you know me. Okay, Radio Shack and a Cooler, version 2. This was supposed to depict The Thinker by Rodin, but I don't think I captured the the image of the sculpture that well. So we'll move on here. Radio Shack and a Cooler. Why a cooler? Well, coolers are rugged, sturdy, and light. They're low atomic density, foam sandwich between hard plastic, make them really impact resistant. Nice containers. Weather and dust resistant, including rainproof. If it's raining, it's protected. A good disguise, okay? Unless someone is really thirsty, they're going to probably leave your cooler alone, okay? Rollable. This, is a nice feature. It really is. Would you climb a mountain with this? No. But if it's a hill and it had a nice paved path, yeah, you might want to do that. Okay, relatively inexpensive, many colors to choose from, at least the eco coolers are. And that's what I found really work well. Okay, this was my version 1. Okay, no, thank you. This was version 1. How many of you have seen version 1? I had at the field day for several years now. Version 1, it was a larger unit, okay? And, I propped up the top with a stick, whatever. On the version 2, it's propped up a little differently. And there was an Icon 7300 in there and a Yaesu FT400 for both the HF and the VHF, UHF stuff. A tray for the computer, a AC/DC switch, so it can be operated both with a power supply or battery power. By the way, if there's any questions, don't hesitate, to interrupt me, or that's okay. And the display panels for amperage, voltage, battery capacity, on and on and on. On version 1, I did use SO239s coming through the sides, if you will. On version 1, I did not. It was extra hardware that I had to remove if I wanted to pull the radio package out. Okay, so that's one thing I've eliminated. All the cables on version 2 are coming through the bottom, if you will. And it makes it easy that way. It's more weatherproof. It's a much better deal. So that was version 2. Now we're going to go to version 1. I'm sorry. This was version 1. Yeah, and now we're going to version 2. Okay, I'm going to put it up on the table right now. Okay, now the way I prop up version 2 is I've got a Velcro here, okay, attached. Anyways, I don't know if you guys can see it in there, whatever. But there is a space for the computer in here. Okay, all the cables are coming out the bottom, if you will. So it's pretty much weatherproof that way. Okay, let's move on. Oops, went the wrong way, didn't we? Coolers. Okay, there's a lot of coolers to choose from. I took these photos at Academy Sports, okay, and they just had all different sizes. For example, if you're interested in a smaller cooler, smaller radios, no issues at all. There's a lot smaller coolers, and they make really nice containers for the radios. So any color there that you want. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, version 2 features. Version 2 is a smaller unit, great for field day, ecom, POTA, SOTA, BOTA, if you have decent access. Obviously, you're not going to climb a mountain with this, okay? But, but it is rollable. It is deep, because I did want 100-watt capacity, so I've got a Yaesu FT991 in there. Which will do HF, VHF, UHF, okay? And rollable, telescoping handle, as we talked about, really nice to pull through. It's got an A-B switch, so you can either operate it battery operated or with the enclosed power supply, okay? Remote speaker, I've got that in there. Space for a laptop computer, and robust, low-power sipping fan in the back. I have an exhaust fan in the back. Okay. Okay. More features. The shelving is white pine. It's light, soft, easy to work with. Paint any color you like. The design criteria included a way to easily remove the radio and radio package, if you will, for servicing and for using in a more confined space. If you're operating in a closet, whatever. So that's the unit outside of the cooler, if you will. If you notice, there are thumb screws on the sides of the cooler, okay? You remove the thumb screws, whatever, and you can slide the radio package out. It just comes right out. There are rails on the bottom here, okay, and pads in the back so that it locates. I mean, it's easy to slide in and out, whatever, and it locates it really well. And there are handles here, obviously, to pull it out. Whether you need the handles, I don't know. It's more aesthetics, I think. But okay, so we've covered that. Still more features. This is the cooler without the radio package. Okay, there are steps in the bottom of the cooler, here and here, and rails beneath the shelving for sliding in and out. Okay. And that's a good shot of the exhaust fan in there too. This on the side is just foam, essentially to take up some space there. Okay. Still more features. A two-colored LED light strip is mounted inside the cover to provide lighting. Okay, it's right in here, whatever. White for normal use, red to preserve night vision, right? The cover can be adjusted with a Velcro strap attached to the cover and extendable handle to direct light into the radios. Okay, so you do that. A fan and LED lighting have Molex quick disconnects for removing the shelving. In other words, if you're pulling the radio package out, you disconnect the fan and the lighting. Okay, I've got a Hammond box in there for power monitoring panel that displays voltage, current, watts, energy, and battery condition. The display can be programmed for the type and capacity battery that you use. Okay. All the coax cables and wires that exit from the bottom of the cooler. Easier and more waterproof.
Did you ever consider flipping it 180 to use the lid as a writing surface?
You know, I guess you could do that. I guess you can do that. I don't know if there'd be any advantage to that, though.
I mean, I can see that the advantage here is that's everything's protected,
Yeah,
but if you flipped it 180, you could use the lid then as a work surface.
that would work. You know, that would work. The advantage of version 1 is the lid was removable. Not so much on this one. You know, yeah, but and I know it's hard to see. Obviously, if this were high or whatever, you know, it'd be easy to see it. But I was going to power it up and show you the lighting and all that. But essentially, you know, it's got the fan switch in here, the a brightness control, and the switch either A or B for the white or the red light. Okay, so that's the deal there. Construction notes: thumb screws, wood screws, inserts. Let me grab some stuff here. These are the thumb screws in the wood insert. Okay, I'll pass that around, and essentially the wood inserts are, what you do is you drill a hole, okay, in the shelving size, whatever, and you just mount the inserts. And that makes for a very robust connection. I'll pass this. I mean, if you want to pass that along. Okay, most cooler sides are tapered, guys, okay? So the shelves need to be tapered too. They need to be cut with the same taper. So the way you do that is you would determine where the shelving would be located on your cooler, on the cooler that you would buy, whatever. And remember to provide the space for the fan. You know, you don't want to crowd the fan, and the cover when it's closed. You don't want the cover to, come in contact with the knobs on the radios and stuff, okay? So you measure the width of the cooler at this location, top, bottom. At the above location, subtract 5.5 inches to compensate for the width of the shelves, okay? Which is, the nominal size, if you will. The actual size of the shelves is 3/4, right? To cut the shelves to this size, the size of the shelves and the shelf spacing will depend on the cooler that you would buy and the radios that you'd want mounted in there, okay? L corner brackets make excellent radio mounting hardware, much less expensive than the OEM mounting trays. If you have the OEM mounting trays, use them. But the L brackets work really nice. Remember the taper issue. Brackets are spaced for your equipment. But L brackets, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, make really nice mounting hardware. Cheap, a lot cheaper than the, essentially, it would be like this, okay? And then you mount the radios in between. I went a little different route on one side of my radios and the power supply too. I extended the shelving sides, if you will, up, and I mounted the radios on one side of the shelves, okay? And I just used little spacers in there. So I only had to use the corner brackets on the other side, okay? I did put a 20 ohm resistor in the fan and lighting circuit to reduce the 13.8 down to 12 volts. Especially the LEDs, they don't like to be overdriven that much. So, okay. This was I know I didn't talk about this much, but this was the little unit, the little display unit. Okay, it comes with a shunt. And and that's this guy right over here. And it's really nice. Voltage, battery capacitor, amperage, energy, anything else you want. It's all there. Okay.
What's your source for that? What's the source?
The source? I'm sorry.
Do you have a battery in there?
Oh, Well, the battery, no, there's no battery in here. I use an external battery. I use a 100.
Meter, where'd you get it?
Oh, where'd I get it? I'm sorry. I'm going to be getting into that too. I got that on Amazon. Okay, I think I got that on Amazon or eBay.
I've ordered them off Amazon. The same ones I use in my battery boxes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really nice because it's got all the information there. And I did, as I say, I did use a resistor in there in the fan and lighting circuit just to get that down a little lower. Okay. More construction notes, fan mounting. Okay, the fans that I use, I bought, well, you know, I've got the list, I think, of the next slide, so we'll do that. But a 5-inch hole centrally located at the bottom of the cooler with a 4.5-inch exhaust fan. I used a Harbor Freight hole kit, okay? The cooler is soft enough, if you will, where you could cut in, in a lot of other ways. But the Harbor Freight hole saw was the easiest way to do it, okay? I went in one way from the outside. The reason I didn't go halfway on one side and halfway the other, because you're always going to get a ridge. You're always going to get a ridge. You're not going to get it perfect. So you go in one side on the outside, and I did put a little latex caulk on the foam on the inside, more or less to stabilize the foam. I don't know if it was necessary or not, but I did it, okay? Extended screws are needed to mount the fan through the cooler. Metric screws, okay? Because obviously the cooler like this, right? And you're gonna need longer screws. 2 people to mount the fan, one inside, one outside. I mean, you gotta have that. I mean, it's kind of hard to do this, right? Okay, the caulk and the foam, I talked about that. The fan grill is dished inward to provide the clearance at the bottom of the cooler. Fan wire leads are clamped 1 inch from the fan, you know, to stabilize the wires. So that's pretty much that. Material, okay. The cooler, I bought mine, I think I bought it at Walmart, but I've seen these at a lot of different stores, including Academy Sports, about $50. Okay, the thumb screws, Amazon, I have 4 pieces, $10. The exhaust fan, Amazon, 2 for $13. The handles, $5.50. The wood white pan, I got that, white pine, excuse me, at Lowe's, 4 feet, that's all I needed. My price there at that time was $13. Corner brackets, home improvement, lumber store, 4 for $5. As I say, a lot cheaper than the OEM mounting plate, mounting stuff, okay? Marine AB power switch if you want both the power supply and the battery, $11. 2 pigtails, PL 259 to the SO 239, 2 feet from the radios so that you can just reach out here, attach the antenna, okay? Long drywall screws, either long drywall or deck screws for wood mounting the rails and the stops, okay? So, conclusion. The Shag cooler can be built as a simple container to securely hold your radios with as many bells and whistles as you want, or build it very simple. Build it your way. So if you're looking for an all-in-one, all-mode, field day, EECOM, POTA, or home Radio Shack with a removable unit for close quarters and one that you can store in a closet, a Radio Shack and a cooler may be for you. Okay, obviously there's a build here. Okay, help available. Okay, if you did need help cutting the wood or drilling a hole in a cooler, light strip, some hardware, I'd be happy to help you. Okay, be happy to help you with that stuff. Okay, so that is pretty much it. The end. Okay.
Now, giveaways. Everybody look at your number.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't see the
Hey, Bob, what was the cost of those meter?
Oh, I didn't have that on the list. Yeah, I didn't have it on the list. It wasn't that expensive.
I buy them for my battery boxes. They're about $20.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess I should show you the rear end, right? Let me do that. Now, I haven't used this yet. You know, I hope to use it at the next field day. So we'll see how it goes. And the fan might be overkill, guys. Okay, I don't know if you need anything that big.
Is it push or pull? Is it expelling air out the rear?
Well, the deal is, I'm glad you asked that question because at the present time, I'm going the wrong way with it. Okay, I'm pulling air in, and it should be exhausting it, right? I mean, it should be exhausting it. So I do have to turn the fan around. Okay, I have to do that. Would you use the fan in the winter? I mean, probably not. No, probably. I don't think you need it.
How hard you run your radio.
I mean, if it's really cold, you might want to warm the radio up, and the cooler might do that. In the summer, it's going to keep your radios a lot cooler if you're out in the sun too. You know.
Maybe you could build that polarity switch in there.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, you're right. I have to turn the wires around. Yeah, right.
If it's a PC fan, it's not going to be very amenable to that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's especially, you know, with the majority of people living in apartments or HOAs or wherever, you know, something like this is more practical for them too.
I can see having fun taking some spray paint to that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for listening.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.